Kuzampo and welcome to the third episode of Bhutan last week. First, the headlines of the week. Bhutan received its first consignment of Covishield vaccines as a gift from India, yet people are apprehensive of the vaccines. Shortage of chili is making people's tongue bland during this lockdown. Bhutanese football star Chencho scoring goals in the I-League and winning hearts. His Bhutanese fans, however, not so much. A Bhutanese in Bargain flunked the COVID quarantine and people now understand why villains always get their way in movies. In world news, Biden is elected the President of the United States and rejoined the Climate Accord and WHO. That's it for the news of US for the next 4 years. Brazil is succumbing to a bigger COVID wave thanks to a far-right president. In world news analysis, we examine why US being the leader of the world is better than China or Russia. In science news, Earth is spinning faster and no, a minute will not be 59 seconds. Following with a pick of the week. Now, the news in detail. In a neighbour's first policy, Bhutan received 150,000 doses of the Covishield vaccines from India as a gift. India has been a stronghold of Bhutan's sovereignty and its development for about 7 decades. However, some of the Bhutanese population are hesitant in the vaccination, most probably due to the explosive and unverified headlines popping up. Mr. B has the details. A consignment of 150,000 Covishield vaccines was gifted by the Indian government to Bhutan in its Neighbour First policy, or vaccine diplomacy as it's sometimes called. Bhutan and India share a friendship that have tested the time, even from the time of British India. Bhutan and especially our first king, Kongsa Uginwangchuk, had a pivotal role in bridging friendship with the then government of British India. After the independence, the friendship gained strength with the visit of Pandit Nehru in 1958 and when he voiced his strong opinion of Bhutan being an independent nation in the Indian Parliament. Come today and Bhutan shares an invaluable friendship with the government of India. India also has recognized the importance of Bhutan and hence the first visits of Prime Minister Modi in both terms have been to Bhutan. However, with some vaccines already in Bhutan, there are some points to be noted. The Prime Minister Dr. Lote has informed that all the eligible population will be vaccinated at once to make the task simpler and also for a uniform resistance to the virus. He also informed that the vaccine will be voluntary, but anyone who doesn't get the vaccine has to sign an undertaking. Many people have been hesitant to take the vaccine due to the portrayal of some deaths in big news outlets. Media houses have made vaccination a bigger challenge because they do not portray the vaccines in a good light. Not that they have to, but an informed decision is not made. It just says death after vaccine, but does not say whether it is because of the vaccine or if it is not. The public usually just understands the headline in the most pessimistic way possible and hence the current situation of vaccine deniers. I have talked to a friend in UK who got the Oxford vaccine and he informed that he had high fever and body ache the next day after the first dose, but it's been 3 weeks and he is as normal as ever. He is a frontline worker in a hospital in the UK and informed that there have been no severe cases of allergy after vaccinations. Not only is the vaccine and COVID making news, but chilies are making its own headway into the news headlines these days. As we all know, chili is part of a staple diet in Bhutan and almost at par with salt. But the pandemic has rendered Bhutanese food tasteless without the burn-inducing chilies. Mr. S has the details. After Bafra banned the import of chili in 2016 due to the presence of pesticides, Bhutanese have been handling a crisis they thought will not be worse in their lifetime, until of course the pandemic knocked its doors. The crisis then doubled with green chili absolutely nowhere in sight. This is difficult because the de facto national dish of Bhutan, Emadatse, literally chili cheese, has the most important ingredient missing, that chili. This is like pizza without the cheese, chicken biryani without chicken, and now you understand the severity. There is not much to say on this, but we get the idea with the video of some people of Bhutan in lockdown devoid of chilies. has been difficult without the chilies. Oh, but anyway, in other news, Bhutan's football star Chencho, fondly known by fans as CG7, is on a second stint in the I-League with Round-Glass Punjab FC. And he scored 2 massive goals, but the team has lost 2 games continuously, which is a norm for any game. There are always a loser and a winner. But our Bhutanese fans are not taking their comments lightly, be it in the club's page or even the I-League FP page. This is not a new occurrence though. Since Chencho joined Minerva Punjab in the 2018-19 season, these comments had started. But it soon got out in rage when he joined Bangalore FC in the ISL and did not get much matches to start with. He did have a stunning goal, but in the other matches, Bhutanese would comment so much in negative to the BFC management that I remember when BFC lost a match, one user wrote, waiting for Bhutanese to start thrashing the management. This went for every match. We were sensing this would end, but with Chencho joining Round-Glass Punjab, this has again started with Bhutanese commentators on the Facebook page continuously trashing the management. An ardent fan in the remote village of Changmi in Tashkang had this to say.
Kuzampo, Changmi miwanchu, Changmi gela. Takpo jili buso sahara malama pa utu football ka korgela. Apa Chencho gini rokte piska dintani nami samili pu changlami. Kopata manchi ko tu mala tak pa aga ni oduk pa za gila ni nam seli pu changlami. Ko to kam lai BPS ka gan mala phaiga TV unda cable makame aiga. Ni uta la kam ni Facebook ko chani nam samili pu ni gol ni juk pa ni ruki. Pa wa lipu changla ruki. Tak pa ni jasa ki pa aga tupo wak sa pa kini nam samili pu utu malik pu diladani. Janti ta same pu shua. Janta mangya ni o Chencho ni hanti mincha vero kini. I took some the Tifa Camro, Lila Chama Camro Club Company. I took works of Tita Mili Hila, Mioji, Mangalam, Chita on the Mina, Takojami Major, the Hanselem, never kissed.
Maybe what Mimi was trying to explain was broadly the difference of nationalism and patriotism. These two statements will make it clear the difference between these two. A nationalist believes that his country is the best because they live in it. But a patriot believes that his country is the best because there is always room for improvement. A nationalist can't tolerate any criticism of his country and considers it an insult. But a patriot can tolerate criticism and have a thoughtful conversation about improvements. For your information, Hitler was a nationalist. Talking about being patriotic and calling a wrong when wrong, a man ran away from his quarantine facility in Paro. Even after hundreds of days of the government asking to follow safe protocols, some of us still do not understand the underlying risks. Our reporter got hold of Senator Bernie Sanders for his views on this.
Welcome to Bhutan last week, sir. Do you want to make a statement about that man who ran away from quarantine, sir? So, any statement you want to make, sir? You're not so impressed with him, are you? Hello? Are you sleeping? So, well, we are not impressed too. Okay. Hello? My statements? Anyway, sir, you've got nice mittens. Thank you for your time.
Maybe we'll never understand how people think. Well, there's only hope that keeps us positive, but not so much positive in COVID cases as in Brazil. Brazil has the third highest cases in the world at 8 million till date and 2 lakh plus deaths. The data shows a spike in cases even though there were reductions in October 2020. This rise can be attributed to the far-right president Bolsonaro, who has from the very start undermined the disease as a little flu. He even contracted the disease and is now well. He has also been criticized for telling the Brazilian public that if the vaccine turns them into a crocodile or make ladies grow beard, he will not be responsible. Just north of Brazil, USA has elected a new president in Joe Biden, and he's already steamrolling through executive orders to control the pandemic. He has also rejoined the Paris Agreement and WHO. I have made a video why this is important to us developing countries and is up in my YouTube channel. Please check that out. But we wanted to focus more on why USA being in the top tier and as a de facto leader of the modern world is of utmost importance. More on this by Mr. Yu. We can all agree on a simple fact. USA is not a saint. It has undergone many acts of war in the Middle East, creating factions and many problems on the way. But people are forgetting Russia and China aren't so much of a saint either. Russia invaded Crimean Peninsula. China, as we all know, invaded Tibet. All the three countries are not the ones we should all be looking up to, but if we had to choose, there is no denying that USA should be the one. Being superpowers, they literally control the world one way or the other. The major difference in all these three is the press freedom. A country which allows a free press is the one which can be questioned and be held accountable. In the Press Freedom Index, Russia and China rank lower than USA. Bhutan ranks at 67 and USA at 45. But Russia and China rank at 149 and 177 respectively, a very vast difference. What this means is the press and the media have freedom to write the truth and present the fact as is without the fear of any government prosecution. This, as we all know, is not possible in Russia nor China. Jack Ma, the Chinese billionaire, was missing for 3 months because he criticized the government. Further, China has blocked almost all the social media platforms we normally use here in Bhutan and elsewhere, and that includes Google, YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. You'll be jailed if you're found using it. Russia, though hasn't banned the sites, still cannot stand critics of the government. Moving on to USA, it hasn't been so good in the Trump era, with many peaceful protests, especially of Black Lives Matter, who were arrested. But this was highly criticized by all the media and even by some in the government. The First Amendment of the US Constitution protects freedom of speech, the press, assembly, and the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. And this is taken very seriously. The following clip will show you an example.
Away though, they're hundreds and hundreds of
You know
miles
what?
away.
I
That's
think
not an
you
invasion.
should, honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN,
All right.
and if you did it well, your ratings
Let
would
me
be
ask,
much
if
better.
I may
Okay,
ask
that's
one other
enough.
question, Mr. President. If I may ask
Peter,
one
go
other
ahead.
question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's
Mr.
enough.
President,
That's
I was
enough.
going to ask one of the other folks.
That's
have had,
enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President.
me.
That was Jim Acosta of CNN. He still works at CNN and goes to the White Office for his duties. This can never happen in Russia or China. I hope you now have an informed knowledge. Moving on to science news. The world is spinning faster, but not in the way you imagine. Many Facebook pages, the scandalous status ones, have told that scientists are planning to make 1 minute into 59 seconds, but this is way false. More on this by our in-house science expert, Mr. S. Posts like this spring up from time to time, and though it looks scandalous, and remember what I told you about scandalous news. Watch out for sensational news, they're mostly fake. Yes, those are most probably fake. And this one is too. Now there are a few things you should know. Firstly, how scientists measure length of a day. Well, it's very simple really. They lock onto a star and measure the time the Earth rotates and the star is in the same position the day before. This is known as a solar day. The measurement of the day is then cross-checked with atomic clocks which measures time to a precision. The difference is then how we know if a day is shorter or longer. Precisely, Earth is not exactly 24 hours. It never has been. It is sometimes shorter or longer, but by a millisecond. That is 1,000th of a second in one day. This is determined by the rotation of the Earth. If Earth rotates faster, we'll have a shorter day and vice versa. Till now, the Earth had been rotating slowly, meaning the atomic clocks had been ahead by some seconds. Therefore, a concept called a leap second is added from time to time to the solar clocks to catch up with the atomic clocks. Since 1972, 37 leap seconds have been added to the solar time. You can watch this happening live at timeanddate.com. Now, because of the Earth rotation being faster, they will not add a leap second this time. But scientists are wondering if on June 2021 they'll have to reduce a leap second for the very first time. The way it is added is also interesting. When a leap second is added, the second reading will read 60, which normally never does. It goes from 59 to 0, but a leap second is added and it becomes 60. And that was the concept of timekeeping and days becoming shorter or longer. And of course, a minute will never be 59 seconds. Not in the near future, of course. So nothing much will change for us, and a minute will still be 60 seconds. You don't need to worry about your time calculation in maths. We do not have a featurette nor a guest today in the show, but we'll make sure we get someone who will tell us something we don't know next week. We have now reached our last segment, Pick of the Week. Our first pick of the week is an Instagram page known as Revive Bhutan. This is run by a small group of young people who want to recycle, but with style. If you go to the Instagram page, you can see a simplistic feel with good videos explaining the work. Oh yes, they sell their products, made mostly from recycled ones. like painted bottles, embroidered face marks, and many others, which come at as low as $19. They are also providing space for you to relax and be focused. All in all, they want you to revive yourself and your world. A great initiative. Do follow them. Our song of the week is an oft-forgotten song of our singing superstar Sun Wangchun. This is Bailey, an up-tempo song with a vibe, released during his upward rising curve of stardom. This was way before he started crooning our favorite romantic songs of the last few years. We have always loved this song because it's different and doesn't resemble any other song of his. That's it for today. Thank you for staying till the end, and we'll end as usual with a few seconds of the song. Like, share and subscribe. We all are, after all, beggars in the social media age. Take care. Bye.
Jag vill inte det nu. Jag tror att mitt om det. Kacci tu ni te.